Hi, hello, welcome to the Daily Chat Buffet brought to you by Vertex of Abundance. My name is Serene Pieces of Bliss. I'll be your oracle today. I was sent to deliberate the finding for the transiting moon into Leo. If you're new, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. It's a delight and an honor and a privilege to serve you. Thank you for allowing me the pleasure to do so. If anything that is said resonates deeply with you, go ahead and smash that like button, comment, share, subscribe, leave a review, book a session, send a donation. You belong, so welcome home. Vertex of Abundance is a galactic temple of ascension. Today we'll be using this Might Hurt Tarot to deliberate the findings, or actually impose the guidance. That's the main energy, of which we'll lay 4 cards. That's the core, central, primary energy. More cards will come out. Mainly, we'll be using the minor arcana from the Cosmic Coven Tarot to deliberate the findings for any type of pairing energy. That's by Lisa Lazenby over at Ripe Avocado. We'll also be using Vita Sibila Daily Oracle to deliberate the findings and clarify any type of correlative or corresponding energy, and that's by Los Scarabeo. These 4 cards we laid, more will come out, but those will be to clarify, modify the original primary core central energy, of which I'll call the 4 cards out multiple times, and then we'll move quickly after that. A little bit of housekeeping, my dear. You can always not fast forward, but speed up, increase the playback speed. It's somewhere in the video playing settings. If the video is too long or it's a little bit slow, that's an option for you. The time will stay the same in terms of what you read, but it'll actually play faster, so you can reduce the reading up to 1/2, And then in the show notes or the about section or the description box, depending on, there's usually, not always, but usually between the Hamza hands, a link to the show summary. The description box will have a summary, and it's often there, not always there. Okay, so there's something going on, maybe some constraint, maybe even some blockages or hurdles to some type of starting a journey. Now, this journey involves us either learning about our authentic self, true nature, or some kind of blockage to like a spiritual gift we're about to receive. During Cancer season, we have an event in Leo. It's a second house event. And the event that we're having right now is a lunar event, a lunation. So that's the moon. So we'll have increased insight, intuition into the areas of the second house. First of all, our values. It's also our voice box, our speech, kind of. And it can be things that we build stability out of, assets, things that we own, values, okay? But it's also the things that we actually have our values centered around, so our actual values in terms of morality and integrity, okay? It also can be things like stability, structure, foundations, okay? There's something going on. We're being prepared to receive material blessing. We also can be feeling endowed in some kind of way because the seeds we planted are beginning to yield. Literally, we're reaping what we sowed. However, there's some kind of need to, invest energy, time, attention into that just a little bit more. We have a little bit of a narrative here. It's actually a petition from the other side, which has to deal with the High Priestess and the King of Wands. That's taking action a little bit privately or secretly. And then we have the King of Cups and the Chariot. Okay, again, High Priestess, King of Wands, King of Cups, Chariot, High Priestess, King of Wands, King of Cups, Chariot. The King of Cups and the Chariot together can be a Cancer sun sign. To a lesser degree, it could represent midheaven, so that'll give us a Libra rising. So we're taking actions around the unit, the hearth, or maybe even the heart place where we, so family is important here. And it doesn't have to be family in terms of origin, biological. It could also just be the place where we root our intimacy. So, what is intimacy? It's based off warmth, closeness, trust, and vulnerability. So we have a pair of kings so far. I feel like we're going to be looking out into the world for what resonates with what we're working on behind the scenes. Maybe or maybe not secret high priestess. So that's gracious, exalted influence over an entire cycle. It also could talk about the 12th house. So if the midheaven is Cancer, we have Leo on the 11th and Virgo on the 12th. That's very much, moving in secret, moving. And I'm saying secret not to give us the usual negative meaning or connotation. It's just sometimes you can't talk about things until they're ready. Sometimes when things are in a new stage, you might not reveal until it's a little bit more sturdy or a little bit more stable. Five of Wands and the Three of Cups, Hangman, and the Page of Pentacles. So the Three of Cups falling out after the Hangman means over the last 3 weeks, we've been kind of working on some readiness, having something in hand. It could be receipts, it could be the funds. We're being prepared to receive some type of material blessing. It also can be that we're starting to learn about our practical skill, whatever that is. And this may be the thing that we're working on behind the scenes, building up some type of skill level, because it's dog eat dog world. The field, the environment we're on location could be a little rowdy and maybe a little petty, maybe a little obnoxious even. Five of Wands is all the kind of low vibrational energy, bottom of the barrel, low down, dirty, petty, basic, ordinary. It also could be that we need to repel energy so that we can kind of listen to our own mind, do our own thing, not a separate or aside from the group, but just have that moment of calm, peace, maybe even privacy to handle up on our own. So we're working on our stability in secret or behind the scenes, just moving quietly and more like intentionally. Because the Three of Cups is testimony, is witness, but it also is like an answered prayer. So before we give things up and share them, give things up to the public, give things up to light to share them. We want to make sure we understand a couple few things. And it's something we've been working on for the last 3 weeks or so. Queen of Wands, Nine of Pentacles, Eight of Wands, Hermit. Yeah, so we're definitely um, indoors or withdrawn. We might be turning inwardly to seek soul's wisdom. Now, somebody here may have Venus and Virgo in the seventh house and the sixth house. With this Hermit and Nine of Pentacles, Queen of Wands, Eight of Wands is needing expansion, swiftness. And that might be other people. They need to know what's going on. They need access to us all the time. Or other people are just quick. Or if we share something, things might get out there right away. Because there's also an energy here that needs to compete or to contest their Queen of Wands, Five of Wands. That's kind of chaotic. Eight of Swords, Wheel of Fortune. That's keeping something close tight or close to the vest. And then we have a Knight of Swords, Knight of Wands. So there is a convergence point here, and there are moves being made. Temperance, Three of Swords, Knight of Pentacles, King of Swords. Six of Wands, Two of Cups. So there's something about being on the same page or like-minded individuals, all right? Two of Cups. It also is union, communion, partnerships, bonds, closeness. Then we have the King of Swords, Six of Wands, clarifying this. So in one sense, this King of Swords is the absolute authority. It's a mastery of a technical skill. And we're just starting out to learn some practical skill with the Page of Pentacles. The Six of Wands, six is receiving, wands is glory, receiving glory. Now, this is triumph and victory after a trial, or it's exaltation from the divine. Six of Wands. Clarified by the Knight of Pentacles, Three of Swords. So we have three knights and three kings here. King of Wands, Queen of Wands also takes this Two of Cups into a union type situation. That's the power couple. Wands is the power couple, king and queen together. With that Two of Cups, there's a bond, there's a union. Six of Wands, it's actually a heaven spouse. It's ordained by the divine. With the Temperance card here and the Two of Cups in this, it may be, usually it is some kind of soulmate union, but since these wands are according to that Temperance card, they're both fire, it can be that there's a king and queen, meaning a sun and a moon in Sagittarius, or some kind of aspect in the chart is matching. With the Knight of Wands and the Temperance as well, it could talk about something that's been going on since the last kind of Sagittarius event. We had a Sagittarius full moon recently. The Queen would talk about that. Normally, be right back. So the Knight of Wands and the Temperance card normally would be Mars and Sagittarius in the ninth house, or a Sagittarius rising. You have all that energy here. So here's what I'm getting. In the ethers, there's a union forming. We've actually come into spiritual union. That's always with the divine, with God, source, creator, energy, whatever resonates, whatever technology we access. That always aligns us to our path. It shapes us up in some kind of way, and it can expel things that are in the way, which in the material will look like chaos. When we're getting ourselves together spiritually, a lot of physical, material chaos could happen, really because things are being repelled, expelled. That's all the fives mean: expel, or purge, or repel. The Five of Wands is repelling energy. Think of it as like magnets. Opposites usually attract, but like does the same in the mission. I mean, like repels itself. And the lesson of the Five of Wands is to leave, not put it down like the Ten of Wands, but to leave, because it actually means multiple people want the same thing, but they're going about it in different ways. Too many cooks in the kitchen. Everybody has the same goal, but they're not really working together. But we have a Six of Wands here too, which means that's actually a karmic lesson. And that's the thing about twin flames. You come together, you have that initial meeting, and there's a catalyst. Whether you feel it or not, there will be a catalyst. Oftentimes we heal apart, we don't heal together. And then after that healing, we could actually be put back on the same timeline and meet again and walk on, either in service of the divine or as life partners, or we might never meet again. So there was a karmic situation that's actually still hovering around and still attached to us. We've done something here on our end where we're working through that energy. If we're in the tower, I mean, Okay, so that's a 40, and that might mean there was an attack or something, or a revelation. If we're in the chariot energy, it means we've had to go through a few things and we're overcoming everything. And we're going into the King of Wands, which means that's taking action, mastering our desires, passions, motivation. And that's what this Three of Swords is clarifying. The Three of Swords is constriction or suspension or delay, rupture in some kind of way. Typically because the truth needs to be acclimated, and the truth could have to deal with standards and boundaries raising to the level. It could also have to deal with just the facts of life, the laws of the universe, or what's going on with another individual. Because mirroring this, whether it's another person or not, it doesn't seem like it, which not true, because we definitely have multiple people here, but the way this energy works is it's talking about a higher vibration, not specifically the energy, which means this is very much spiritual. And the second house would talk about principles to have, values to have, ways to shape our life, philosophies to carry into the future so that we're at this right vibration, where at a subsequent time from now, near future, distant future, don't know, at a time other than now, this energy will acclimate really quickly. We need to be at this certain frequency energy vibration for later manifestations to happen. That's what this is telling me. Because High Priestess, King of Cups, High Priestess is the one that it just fits in this cycle with all this knowing, and it's good, bad, and ugly knowing. The Eight of Swords is here, the Five of Swords is here, all clarifying the High Priestess, meaning like we need to heal. We need to get our angel wings. We need to be temperate. We need to be humble. All the little obstacles, all the little quibbles and foibles, all the little quabbling and quibbling, all the little yells and yodels and whines and wails, don't matter, don't care. Those things are going to happen according to whatever, what have you, you know? Haters going to hate, players going to play. Devil's going to be the devil. Demons going to do what demons do. Liar's going to lie. Gossip is going to gossip, all of that and then some. It's not about that though. What's the plan? What's the life path, spirit, karma, destiny? What's this road that we're on? What's the path that we're walking? What's the medicine that we bring? What's the journey that we came here in this lifetime to accomplish? All that other stuff is just that, all that other stuff. It don't matter, we don't care. Why? Because be who you are and say what you do, because those who matter don't care and those who care don't matter. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person just like that. You can't say the right thing to the wrong person. If something arrives at a conclusion or something presents itself a certain way, it obviously thinks that's the best course of action to take, or that's the best it could do. So that's the High Priestess. It's this pure exalted status, pure exalted gracious influence, or entire cycle, meaning knowing without involving oneself. That's what the High Priestess does. I don't hear that said a lot. It's true, the High Priestess does know everything, at least can see the overarching trajectory of a situation. They don't need to intervene unless they're called to do so. Because the Eight of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune, it's talking about the gate will open at the very right time. What we need to do is stay in the energy that we're in, stay dutiful, dutiful. Because what we don't want to do is miss out on an opportunity, and there's going to be people around us delirious. There's going to be quabbles and squabbles and all of that. People are going to shriek because it feels like we're stuck in a situation that's not just distressing, it's causing havoc and making us not trust maybe the energy or the people that we're around. The trick, though, is to realize that we're already at a high ground and just to maintain the advantage. It wouldn't be made like that. People will talk. People oftentimes unload or they leak animosity. And and when we have access to something, access to annoying, we always kind of want to soothe. And oftentimes we're going to soothe the people that are toxic, illuminate. The people that are not toxic, they're usually going to talk about solutions. The people that are toxic, they talk about other people or talk about things. And that's a label. Like, who wants to judge somebody else? It's just a perspective, though, the word toxic. Because one thing that's toxic for one person might not be for the next. Let me give you an example. Some people can sit down and eat a dozen donuts and still walk straight, or let's say differently. Some people can eat a whole pizza and not get sick. Other people eat an entire pizza in one sitting and it's like they're going to kill over. Some people could sit in an office chair all day working 8 hours a day. Other people, they'd be comatose. Some people love to drive. Other people hate to drive. Some people like peach pie. Other people are allergic. You know, it's each according to his own. What's toxic for one is not toxic for another. Yeah, maybe it's malignant, meaning if you feed it, it will eat you. Don't let that energy in because it will eventually lead to a demise. But really, it's about an assessment of values. Okay, well, I was saying malignant, and then we had Ilardo and Rosita. I'm going to say what I'm going to say because the energy is saying, let's not hold on to things or trust things because that means we're inviting in darkness. Because this is a racket, it's hiding in plain sight, and it will change quite suddenly. It's not always something that you can anticipate. And the place that they're getting access to is our root. What is all this Sagittarius energy? Yeah, something's coming back in. There's been an energy we've been anchored into spiritually. Oh yeah, definitely. The thought it usually means something is coming in to heal. We've been spending a lot of time healing because we have the Thore and Maitata, the king and queen. So this connection's been nurtured whether or not we knew it. And it could be to the divine or it could not be because we've been focusing on ourselves. King of Cups with the Chariot is talking about Cancer energy. We're in Cancer season. So we're looking at some disappointments that we've had, but we need to recognize also that we have the Holy Grail upon us. There's something that needs to be protected, and it's our loyalty. There might be loyalty to things that are not healthy, and we might be allowing people to stay in protected spaces where they shouldn't be. Expect evil not until you see it, because once an enemy can never be a friend, because they never were, even if it seemed like it at one time. We reward loyalty with loyalty and disrespect with distance. That's just a model for the kind-hearted because we don't want to get stepped all over. Something happened 6 weeks ago, something happened 3 weeks ago, and there's been something percolating all this time. What's this triple king? Okay, so something's being suppressed. Four of Cups made apathetic, left in a sunken place. So three kings talk about a compact instead of an alliance. It's a compact. Yeah, there's some illusion around a connection that we have with someone else. Both parties feel like this other energy is very suitable, but we've been spending time in rest, or we've been taking time to contain a situation, when really Five of Swords is another word for procrastination. Not always. We might be blocking love or stagnating love or procrastinating on love, because Five of Swords, self-interest, really is what that means. Because we could be coupled up. Queen of Pentacles is the nurturing one, the one that needs stability. What is this triple knight talking about? Okay, somebody could be very attractive with the King of Wands, but it means taking massive action, mastering our desires, passions, motivations. There's an energy here where we've put energy into something, we're working on something, we're sowing seeds to reap at another time. But there's this Five of Pentacles, changes that either need to be made, a plan that won't work out, or somebody's been left out in the cold. some work that we did, some investment that we made might be invested when we don't really know that the next choice down the road is going to be contentment. So we have a pair of threes here. And a pair of eights. For the threes, we have the Page of Cups. So that's feeling with this Ten of Cups fulfilled. So part of this blessing is that once we get in alignment with our energy, our effort, our attention, there's going to be some type of union offered to us later on down the road. It's very clear here, but it requires favor from the divine, which means we need to be in flow for power to come into our hands. Because that's the reason this connection will revisit. And it's the second house time of the month. We're not going to be talking too much about deep one-on-one intimacy. It's not the time for that. That's fifth house, sixth house, seventh house. Right now, we're talking about our foundation. Our foundation's been being worked out for a long time. We've been battening down the hatches in terms of conflict, obstacles, challenges. Now, something is preparing to come in. Three of Pentacles, that's a working or some type of plan or strategy. Because there's an energy on the periphery getting ready to confront their own fear. And what's going to happen is there's going to be some kind of offer coming to us of love, Two of Cups. You see this? It's of love, Two of Cups. So it's not for us to worry about that. It's for us to work on ourselves and work out whatever we're working on, which might not be love. So Vertex of Abundance is the Galactic Temple of Ascension, delivering sacred messages from behind the veil. We're going to go ahead and deliberate any findings on union, communion, partnership here from Pop of Love Oracle by Vibe About It Tarot. That's by Vibe About It, of course, on Etsy. A message from the other side, it fell face down. Balance. Narrative is here. I'm trying to balance the scales of my life and our connection. I took from you more than you were able to give, and I used you for my own benefit. I now understand this was unhealthy and unfair to you. I'm sorry. Yeah, winter. It could mean that something was going on in the actual winter, depending on the hemisphere that you're in. But winter is also a time where things dry up, resources aren't so plenty. Somebody is in the season of collecting or leveraging or yielding. We're in this energy of ghost. I'm sorry I had to run, but I couldn't tell you how I felt. I don't even know how I feel because I don't even know how I feel. It was easier for me to walk away instead of having to explain myself. Hardworking, ambitious, team player, patient, intelligent, driven, disciplined. So this is not a new person. It's somebody also that we find very sexy. King of Wands is that energy. So this is a reading about us aligning our path, having to go within and work on ourselves, Hermit. And as we do that, we become ready. We reach this vibration that attracts in love. And that should be the values that we're learning during this cycle right now, second house. We need to learn to go within, find answers. We need to learn to have wisdom and wise teachers, wise counsel. Because there's still a karmic something being worked out on our end. We need to realize that we were previously very manipulated by our benefit of the doubt, by actual players in the environment. Don't know, don't understand fully, but there's a reason we've spent a lot of time alone, and it's because we're working out some type of soul's wisdom that later on will impact us very well because we are being prepared for some kind of unique community partnership. And before that happens, we need to worry about soul's wisdom, wise counsel, going within for answers, listening to our intuition. And also, if there is any path on our life, any calling on our life, walk that path as well. Until we meet again, until we read again, Namaste, Dandavat, and Ashe, Sayonara, Das Vidanya, Vida Zane. Just a quick prayer for all those still lost out there to illusion, delusion, confusion, lost in the seas of time, trapped somewhere in the matrix, yet to heal, yet to awaken, yet to return to the splendid grace of the divine, unconditional, loving, universal oneness, upon we love you, we're sorry, please forgive us, thank you. We pray that your steps are ordered, path illuminated, and find salvation and redemption in this life. Take good care. Ciao. See you in the next one. Smash that like button. Bye-bye.